Bookies, today we are going to go over some contemporary book recs, so let's get started. I'm trying not to copy last year, so if I accidentally repeat a couple of books or two, I am so sorry about that. But I'm trying to stick with books that I encountered this year that were in the contemporary genre, area, whatever. And the first one I'm going to talk about is You Truly Assume by Laila Sabreen. This one is a fantastic book about 3 different girls from different parts of the U.S. who are experiencing Islamophobia after a terrorist attack that is committed by a white man. White man, no! Anyways, this one is a very moving story about how they navigate Islamophobia and how they all come together to run this blog that is, again, attacked by Islamophobes, etc., etc. It's very moving, very, very good. I highly recommend it. I also read this year The No Family by Grace K. Shim, and I absolutely love this. This is so cute. If you're into K-dramas, this is going to be one that you're going to want to pick up. In this one, our main character gets a 23andMe packet done at the insistence of her friends. It's just her and her mom. She has no other family, and so she's always kind of wondered, like, you know, who her other family is. When she gets a hit on 23andMe and also a personal message from one of her supposed family members, she leaps at the chance to go to Korea and find out more about them and meet them and everything. But when she's there, she realizes she might be a pawn in someone else's game. Again, K-drama, very K-drama-like. It's so good. I highly recommend it. This year I also read Twice a Quinceanera by Yamile, Saied, Mendez. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. Please correct me. I am always up for corrections. But this one is a bit of an adult book, although it is a closed romance, so nothing adultish happens. But it does have adult characters. Anyways, our main character is 30. She's approaching 30, and she has had this dream of always marrying before she reaches 30. She has had this lifetime boyfriend, and it's took him years to get him to propose. She has set up the wedding and everything, but, you know, at the beginning of the novel, she comes in and she's like, you know, I am fed up with this relationship. He is absolute trash, does nothing for me. As she should, queen. Anyways, all the family's already coming in to come to the wedding. And since the wedding was, I think, like the day before her 30th, she decides, you know what? Why not? Why not just throw myself another quinceanera? She didn't really have one as a young child because of her family's financial difficulties. So she decides to throw her own self one. This is her journey in throwing her own self one, facing a lot of judgment and everything from her family, and her conquering that, and also falling in love again. This is such a good book. I highly recommend it. Now this one is going to make you weep, but it is How You Grow Wings by Rimma Onoseta. In this one, it is told in dual POV between 2 sisters. One of the sisters, who is the younger sister, she is kind of praised by her parents and everything, and when her rich aunt decides to take the younger sister, or this main character, and raise her as her own, the parents don't see anything wrong with this. It's because this is, I think this is set in Nigeria. I'm not entirely sure though, so please correct me if I'm wrong again. But the parents are like, you know, hey, this is great. They send her off and everything. They're very, very proud of her. But then comes in the older sister, who is our other narrative. She has faced a lot of abuse from her parents, and kind of took the brunt of the abuse from for her little sister and everything. And she faces a very different life after the decision that leads her sister away from their family home. Very moving again, and very, very well done read. This one is a really, really fun YA contemporary book. It is Well, That Was Unexpected by Jessie Q. Sutanto. I'm so sorry, please correct me if I'm wrong. But in this one, it is between 2 Chinese-Indonesian main characters. One of them is also an American. She's, you know, in America. She has this boyfriend, this longtime boyfriend, and she thinks that, or I don't even think he's a long time. I think he's maybe a couple months. Anyways, but she's like, you know, I think I'm ready to have sex for the first time. And they're about to do it when she pauses and says no, when her mother walks in on her. And mother is like, oh my God, I can't have this happen under my roof. My daughter is turning to this sinful nature. So she sends her, and so she packs both of them up, and they go and take a trip over to Indonesia. Our other main character is in kind of a similar situation. He is having happy fun times with himself, if you know what I mean, when his father walks in. His father has a similar reaction to our other main character's mother, and that leads the father of the guy main character and the mother of the girl main character to make fake dating profiles on this website and hook the children up together. It's kind of part of my favorite trope, and I loved it. It was so good. It was so fun, and I don't think I've ever read another book set in Indonesia, and I would love to again. This was an absolutely beautiful setting for this book. If you want a couple of contemporary books that are also in graphic novel format, Crushing is going to be one of them. This one's told completely without words, but it details the story of two very unique people. I think it's kind of during COVID, I'm pretty sure, you know, falling in love and everything like that. Is such a sweet book. I highly recommend it. But also, if you are looking for a graphic novel that deals with a lot of anger and stuff like that, Slip It by Marika, McCoola and Aatmaja, Pandya, I'm so sorry, please correct me, is going to be your best bet. In this one, our main character is dealing with a lot of anger and grief after their friend's failed suicide attempt. They're trying to process a lot of that emotion and everything, but they're also sent away to art camp where they're also having to explore that through art as a medium. And this one, you actually, this is one of the cooler books. There's no color in this except when she's displaying anger or remembering something that makes her angry, and then there's red. So see, like, no color, red. I thought that the use of color used in this graphic novel was very well done, and I highly recommend it. Another adult contemporary book, but one that was my favorite, one of my favorite books of all time in 2022. It is Lizzie Blake's Best Mistake by Mazey Eddings, and I also want to briefly display the other Mazey Eddings book that came out in 22, A Brush with Love, that was also fantastic, about two people that meet in dentist school, and they fall in love. Very dentisty, very cute. But this one, oh my God. Okay, so this one is part of a kind of a series, standalone books. Lizzie is a best friend of one of the main characters from A Brush with Love, and she has ADHD, and she's a bit chaotic. She doesn't really take her medication or anything like that, and like she's very scattered. She also has this rule that she only does hookups and only does like one hookup with one person, never sees him again. So she's on her way to go hook up with this guy. I think she had just been fired from her job, so she's feeling all down and everything. She goes to meet this guy, and he's like a total tool. But in walks this Australian guy who is super smart and funny and charms her. They hook up, and then she breaks her rule. They hook up a couple other times. But also, she didn't realize that condoms expire. So, oopsie. She gets pregnant. Now, I know what you're thinking, like, accidental pregnancy tropes are a little problematic, okay? I don't think that I have previously, I used to sneak and read my mother's, like, Harlequin romances. I don't think I ever read an accidental pregnancy trope in those books that I liked. This one I absolutely loved. It wasn't your standard accidental pregnancy trope. It dealt with a lot of other issues, and the writing. The writing just makes this. Mazey Eddings has a gift for writing, and I will scream it at the top of the world that you should read her work until I am hoarse. Definitely, if you're going to take any suggestion from this video, take this one. It is absolutely marvelous. This year I also got Goth Girl, Queen of the Universe by Lindsay as Zrull. And I absolutely love this one because it focused a lot on our main character, who is a foster child. She was taken away from her mother because of her mom's mental illness, and she ends up in Michigan at this foster care at this foster home with this single woman, and it's like, she's great and everything, but like, she misses her mom. So she schemes her way to go and see her mom by joining this group of cosplayers. And it sounds ridiculous, but there is a cosplay, there was a huge cosplay event that is happening in New York where her bio mom is. And she can just make it big with this cosplay group. She can get to New York and go and finally meet up with her mom and everything like that. And she's also a fantastic sewer, so she can fit right in. It's her journey and dealing with all the feelings and thoughts that foster children feel and having to figure out what is best for herself. Highly recommend. I feel like I've talked about this book so much this year, but I still want to keep talking about it. It is Deep in Providence by Neilson. This is an absolutely fantastic read. It is the POV between this group of friends who are all in this coven together, but they are having to deal with the aftermath of their friend's death. And one of the friends who had a relationship with her girlfriend, I don't think they were girlfriend, but correct me if I'm wrong, she is bound and determined to bring her girlfriend back from the dead. And the other people, you know, it's like it talks a lot about grief. It talks a lot about them having to figure out how to deal with their friend's death and everything, and all the decisions and stuff that are made from there. Very fantastic. Highly recommend. And the last two books that I want to recommend for this video are A Love from A to Z and A Love from Mecca to Medina. This one is the first one, A Love from A to Z, by S.K. Ali. And this one of our main characters is told in like dual POV. One of our main characters is a girl who's an American Muslim, and after being, you know, bullied and kind of unfairly punished by her Islamophobic teacher, she gets an early spring break. She's like suspended from school a week before spring break. So she gets sent over to, I think it's Quaidar, but I'm not entirely sure. Someone please correct me. I cannot remember where this place was. But it was somewhere over in that general area, and she goes to stay with her aunt and everything, you know, do stuff over there, where she meets up with this group of friends. Now, in this group of friends, there is our male main character who just dropped out of college. His family is still deep in grief from his mother's passing. It very much affected the family, and his mother died from multiple sclerosis. But when he also has an MS attack at school, he knows that he has the disease, and it's him learning how to accept that, how to manage it, and come out to it about his family, because right now it's still a big secret. The sequel is so marvelous. I prefer this one over this one, but it is so good. Basically, we see our characters return again, and this time they are doing the pilgrimage from Mecca to Medina, and it's so good, so good. I highly recommend both of these. So yeah, that is everything that I am recommending for contemporary books this year. So thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all later. Bye!